due to fog and whatnot, stars wasn't able to fly. So they were going to send me by ambulance. And while waiting for the ambulance, I wasn't feeling bad and whatnot. And I talked to my grandson about his hockey. He was 6 at that time. And my niece, granddaughter, she was 3 at the time. She did a song and a dance for me to cheer me up for my trip. So we left, and just before leaving, I asked the ambulance attendants if it'd be all right if my wife would come along. Because once it got done in Calgary, we could go shopping. I didn't know I'd take me 2 months to do that. Anyways, we left Pincher, then Brasdad, and Marchcock. They're the attendants. And going down the Brockett Hill, my heart stopped. They had to pull over to the side, and because of being on the Brockett Hill, the radio reception and cell phone reception is pretty limited. Unfortunately, they were able to get a hold of Brockett to relay the message back to Pincher for more help. When my heart quit there, the CPR, the whatever you call it, cardiac, I just about wore both Marchcocks and then Brasnet down to a frazzle before help arrived there. And we got help there, turned around and headed back to Pincher. At Pincher Station, my heart stopped again, so they had to pull over to the side again. Then once they got back into Pincher, doctors, okay. And Tracy Burton, Bev Burton, the doctors in the emergency room, plus the emergency staff. And
he was sleeping through most of this. Really, he doesn't remember all.
and Dr. Scrimshaw. I forgot. Through my ordeal, I lost a lot of memory. 2 weeks prior to my heart attacks, I can't remember. Just vaguely remember things. And there's other things that I don't pick up on. But anyways, we left for Calgary the second trip to Calgary. Dr. Bev Burton, Lynn Brasnet, Marge Cox, and Charlie Schuning went on the second trip. And thanks to Lynn Heavyfoot, that trip was made in record time. I think it was maybe to get rid of the trouble that I was causing. In Calgary, they did an angioplast and they put 2 stents in my heart. They also prepped me for either a mechanical heart or a heart transplant. And what they did, they put in a pillow in my heart. And at that time, Calgary and Toronto were the only 2 places that did this Impella. The Impella is supposed to stay in there for about 9 or 10 days before you get either a transplant or a mechanical heart. Oh, and I should mention another thing too. On the second go around to Calgary, as I learned later that I've been the first person in Pincher Creek that they packed in an ice bed to send to Calgary. And my teeth are still rattling. But it worked. In Calgary, they prepped me to go to Edmonton for the heart transplant with the impella in me. In Edmonton, I was heavily sedated for just about 2 weeks. The impella quit in Edmonton on the 8th day that it was in. And they're fortunate enough to have a representative from the outfit that makes this impella. He was just getting on the plane to head back to the States, and they caught up with him. And they did come back, and they got the impella working again. But at that time, the next day, the impella, it quit again on him. But by that time, my heart was just strong enough to keep on going. So that I didn't have to do a heart transplant or mechanical heart. But I'd like to thank the doctors, and also I would really like to thank the community for the support and donations and volunteer work. You're a lot of the part of the reason why I'm able to stand up here today, and I do thank you. I hope that round of applause was directed to yourselves because you do deserve it. Thank you.
So on that day, and